I'm a bit encouraged by the responses from the viewers of my earlier two videos, and they wanted to hear more about these subjects. So today I'm thinking about the concept of God. As I said in my earlier videos, the concept of God is something that you have to understand beyond our knowledge, because the intellect that we have is based on what is required for the earth alone. So whatever our senses conceive is what we can understand, and that is what our intellect is made of. But now beyond that, we have to think about the God. So in Quran, God saying the Quran says that the God is like a light, and in some other scriptures as well. Most of these scriptures says that God is something that you cannot conceive with our senses. So this, you can say energy, you can say whatever. How to prove this scientifically? I was thinking about it, and then when I was just reading some books about the quantum theory, then I realized that what is an atom, because everything is made of molecules, and molecules are a combination of atom. So what is an atom? Atom is nothing but an energy capsule which has the electrons and neutrons which is just going around it. So then how come when we see the things, they are all different? Like, even if you take our body, we have different things. The skin is different, your hair is different, your eye is different, and the air is made of atoms, the fire is made of atoms, water is made of atoms, wood is made of atoms. Plastic is an atom, cardboard is atom, glass is atom. Anything that I can see around or can feel it is made of atom. Then how come, if the atom is all the same capsule of energy, how come it has a different properties? So this is one thing we really have to think about it. So the scientists say that the information given to that particular group of atom is what it becomes, what it has to be. For example, somebody or some power has given the atoms, to form like the water or the fire. So who is doing that? So I think this is because in Quran, when I'm reading, Quran, it says that kun fayakun. One of the attributes of Allah or God is that it is, He can say to be, and that becomes. And so that means I really feel that the God is the power who can do anything with you or with your environment and with anything. And also it says that if there is one order coming from God to the earth and then it returns with its result, then it is one day for God, which is same to 1,000 years of us, you know. And in some other places God says that, like, he created the whole universe in 6 days. So that 6 days, like, one day is like 50,000 years of us, of the earthly time that we are really following. So that means 6 days is 6 into 50,000 years for us. And it is an this is how we have to recognize it. This is how we have to understand how the concept of God can be. So if it is like the light, yeah. So if it is the light, that means it is surrounds everything. Yeah, in the scriptures, God says that I surround on everything. That means He is even above the universe. Because if you want to surround something, you have to be above that, right? And then if it is rotating, then it is surrounding everywhere. If we see like our light, So, uh, and there is another thing that you can also understand from the scriptures. And because I learned more about Quran, so I will say that, and other scriptures also says like that. See, God says that I have created all the living things from the protoplasm, from the water. Okay? And scientifically it is also known that, from centuries old and, for centuries and centuries back. the things, and there was no things, there were no living things, and everything started from the water. That is why if you see the reincarnations of Vishnu, he started from Malsya and then the Kurma. So Malsya is the one from the water, the first living thing, and then Kurma. Kurma is the one which can live in both, amphibian or whatever you call it. And then his is Vamana. No, before Vamana it is, yeah. So he also made the earth stand still when it was the Kurma avatar. And this process is also said in Quran. In Quran, God says that after He created our solar system, the earth was actually moving and vibrating, or it is not stagnant in one place, yeah. And then He made it. So this avatar also is almost similar to that, because in Hindu mythology says that the asuras has taken and stole the earth, and the Vishnu came in his avatar, and then he took it back and put it in the right position. So like that, if you see that graduation of the earth, then this is also very much matching with the Vishnu's avatars as well. And after that, he's killing the Narasimha, and then that is Narasimha is actually the story of Prahlad as well. And Prahlad was telling the king that his son, his father, that you are not the god, there is somebody else is the god, and then he puts him in the fire. Now this is the same story of Abraham or Ibrahim, if you say in Arabic language. And Abrahamic the Sanatana Dharma is the same as what our Hinduism also is following. Anyway, so I can speak about that more details later. So let us go to about the concept of the God now. And now, when everything is, every living creatures is made from the water, or it has come out of the water, and then he says that my throne is on the water. Okay, so God has a throne. Okay, let us say how it is going to be, what is this nonsense, that we can think about it, but let us go by what the scripture says, because the knowledge beyond our intellect is only in the scriptures. So there's no way, we have to go by the scriptures, and then we match them with the scientific information, whatever we have. Because once upon a time, the science did not know the earth is round and the earth is rotating. So now we say that earth is round and it is rotating, so we realize all that. Now, if all the living creatures were made from the protoplasm, from the water, and if the God's throne is on water, and he said that this is because I can really know who is doing good and who is not doing good. This is the reason why. So that it is like a big network of God, is protoplasm, the water, and it is everywhere. It is there even in our air, it is there. And in another place also God says that that he is closer than your jugular vein. That means some vein here, I think. So that I know what even you are thinking about. So if God is within us, so close to us, so where we have to house the God is not in the temples, not in the mosque, or not in the there's no statues. Anyway, there's nobody's housed the God in the mosque that everybody knows. But like in the churches, then they have put the statue of Jesus Christ. So God does not need something to be in between you and the God, because God is closer than your jugular vein, and he can understand, even he can know your pulse, what you are thinking about, what even before you can do something. Sometimes we do good things, but we will get really punished for that, or people doesn't realize that his intention is something. So our intentions are known by the God. So where we have to house our God should be in our heart. If the God is not in my heart, if I'm not thinking, doing good and positive, or in my mind I have some corrupt thoughts, and then I go to the mosque and pray 5 times, or even the night, whole night you pray, it doesn't mean anything because the God is not there. Like, sometimes I feel that, from the mosque they will very loudly, from all the mosque they'll shout Allah Akbar, Allah. The person who is actually making that sound, he does not have that godly feeling in his heart, in his mind. Then it doesn't mean anything. Even if you go to a church, and then in the church, you are sitting there and praying and repeating everything, and then, or even the mosque, you're repeating everything, you're reading the Quran without knowing the meaning, doesn't mean anything, because the God should be within us. We should house him. The temple should be our heart. Yes. So if you make now, I'm not going for a conflict or a conflict of arguments or something like that. I'm just saying these things just to match with our sense. Yeah. This should match with some sense. Otherwise, it does not mean anything, right? Now we say that okay, we need murtis or we need idols. Okay, so when you go there, this is for the concentration. What are you concentrating to? You're concentrating to the same shape of human beings. Do we need that? If you need it, it's fine. You go to a temple with all that. So I have a feeling when I was in very, very childhood that if a very pure person goes to a Muslim mosque, or a very pure person, non-corrupt, goes to a temple, or a real pure person goes to a church or any worship places, he is the same to God. For the God, he doesn't recognize people like, okay, that fellow is Hindu, so he's going to his church and I don't look at him. No, it is not that way. Because he is looking at your heart. He is closer than your heart. He is closer than your jugular vein. And he knows, because his throne is on the water, and we are all the creatures are made of water. And then he died in that, through that network, he can know who is doing good and who is not doing good. And Quran very clearly says that it does not say that who will pray will go to the heaven, but it says that who do good will go to the heaven, and who don't do good, okay, he will do something good, something bad, something there, something here. It's okay. So he can forgive you depending on the severity of your sins, and if you keep on sinning. So what happens to that kind of a soul? I feel that if you're too much earthly and you have an animal in you that you are really going through that, then there's a likelihood that you can be born again. That is the reason why I said that in my last one, that you have to release your soul from the earthly attachments. If you don't do that, then you will be going in that vicious circle again and again and again. In Quran also says that. In Quran Arabic says, وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. That means he's going around and round and round of that life again and again. If you're too greedy, you can be born like some animal which is very greedy and it just doesn't care about anything around it. If you are otherwise, then you may be one. Then this is kind of a, as I told you in my last one, this earthly life for you to purify your soul. If you are successful in that, if you have done all the parameters, what God really feels, or God is saying through the scriptures, what you should do, what you should not do, like don't tell lies, don't kill, don't do that, don't do that, don't do this, do this, do this, do this, and you do all the good things here with all the positive mind, with good intention. If you do good things also without a good intention or bad intention, thinking that you can get something back from the earth, from the earthly rewards, that you will get from the earthly rewards. So that means your soul will be going here and again and again. So that is why people are different, born in different places, in different situations, because your previous life of the stage, I would say stages, different stages of your soul. Like, when I am born, what is the stage of my atma or my soul, and how I upgrade that through my actions in this, so that in after my death, after my body perishes, then my earth can become what I really wanted to be, a good person, a better person. So maybe I'll be born in another place in the earth itself, because I didn't meet these parameters to complete the term. Then I may go to, if I do all that, then maybe my soul will be gone to another planet, which can be heavenly or which can be hell. I'll talk about hell and heaven in my next one scientifically. Just wait for it for another day. Thank you.